Yeah, this new Enola Holmes film, I don't care about it. This movie had so much potential to be a fun adventure spy film. Even though the film had great production designs and visual effects, and hell, even maybe some of the score, even some of the score is pretty good, is missing very great key strength parts, and the film is really destroyed by its own writing. There is nothing wrong with bringing up social issues. There is nothing wrong with diversity in films. Come on, it's 2020. Let's be more civilized than that. Hollywood has this just addiction to writing the social issues in the most one-dimensional, narrow-minded way possible. They focus the perspective of the oppressed, but not the perspective of the oppressors. Given this is Victoria era England, we should be aware of the social norms of why do people act the way they act. Please note, it is 2020 and we're still trying to accept people of certain groups, even though we shouldn't really care about those groups. And what I mean by that is why let their lives affect your lives? It's pretty unnecessary and uncalled for, and is just overall negative when we should be more positive. Sherlock Holmes being played by the sexiest man alive is barely in the film. All he does is walk and talk and be the more sympathetic brother to Enola. While the older brother, my Laura Croft, Tomb Raider, is the biggest jerk. However, you can sympathize with him because of the social norms that they were in. Back then, civilization as a whole was very critical on your appearance and how you should act. There's this pointless love story between Enola and this character named Tewksbury. No real development. I don't know why they start falling in love with each other. It's weird that this movie wants to break cliches in film, but they tend to write cliches in this film. Enola should have been dead. Should have been killed. She is not well trained like Sherlock. She has no decades of experience. Yes, she is trained by her mother. I have no doubt that her mother raised her to be a fighter and a mother who raised her to be very smart and intelligent. However, during all of her fight scenes with this trained killer, this bull hat man, I really feel like this man could have just easily destroyed Enola. She's tried numerous times to take him down with this corkscrew takedown, but I have to think because this is a 16-year-old girl trying to take down the sheer size of a fully grown man, she would have a more difficult time. Really though, he could have picked her up and just went like... I find it very unlikely that she was able to solve the case before Sherlock. In reality, I think this film could have been much more fun if like Sherlock and Enola teamed up to find the mother, then they get split up along the way, and then we can have character growth for Enola as she is growing as a detective, and now Sherlock has to focus his task on finding his sister. My least favorite scene in the whole movie is this interaction between Sherlock Holmes and this character Edith. She is very rude. This is where the movie gets really preachy, and unfortunately it hurts the overall message of the film. The pacing is very slow. It is not that interesting. I feel like they could have been a little bit more creative with the cinematography, even though there's these great landscape wide shots. There's not enough unique taste in it. The whole finding mother storyline kind of gets backtracked along with the rest of this plot. It's just not her finding this mother. There's a whole plot angle about the reform bill, which is the bill to grant the women the right to vote. Everything was circling about this reform bill, and then the amount of times you hear about it, you start to realize what the movie's really about. By the time the movie ended, I had no idea where it was going to go. Even if they teased it for a sequel, I'll have no idea where it's going to go. There's no real resolution between her and her brothers. I feel like there could have been some great dramatic scenes between Mycroft and Sherlock concerning how they have different opinions about Enola. But obviously the movie missed that opportunity, just like how they missed so many opportunities with this film. I wish I can give more energy. I'm going to give it more energy to this review on editing. Enola Holmes, I'm gonna give it a I don't care out of 10. I do not care. Well, this is probably the shortest review I've done. Again, the pros, some parts of the score, some visuals, and the production designs. With the cons being the uses of the characters, they're more focused on the reform bill than anything else. I wish there was a better connection between her and her brothers. The fourth wall breaks kind of took me out of the film a bit. The Finding Mother storyline just ended so anticlimactic. Once you realize the whole plot and everything about the mother storyline is kind of like, why didn't Enola just know in the first place, considering how smart and intelligent she is. I feel like the film should have just known that Enola could have been a great asset to Sherlock, but instead they just made her a better detective. Again, Sherlock has years of experience with this, and I feel like the case was a little bit handed to Enola. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. If they made a sequel, I'm not checking it out, unless it's way better, unless they actually put in some effort. Welcome to the, I'm gonna make this a series, the I don't care series about basically movies I don't really care about, can't really give it a score. I'm just like, by the time the movie ends, I'm just like, whatever. All right, let's see what's next. Thanks for watching the video. Hit that subscribe, notification, check out my other videos, check out the playlist. Again, subscribe. Subscribe! Now excuse me as I go watch some other Sherlock movies.